Hi, listeners. Welcome to Off the Cuff. Hope you all are having a wonderful, weekend today. I'll say, and I do have a wonderful guest today, and I meet her, once in a while, and it's always a blast to talk to her. I do have Madhvi Pratt. She has always been passionate about helping underprivileged children learn English with a background in education, psychology, and technology. She brings a unique skill set to her work, drawing 35 years of experience, including several years in the tech industry. She has developed and implemented an innovative digital language literacy program in numerous shelter homes and underprivileged schools across India. So, Madhvi, welcome to Off the Cuff.
Thank you so much, Namrita. Thank you so much for having me here. It's wonderful to have this opportunity to talk to you.
Finally, we meet in the studio.
Yes.
So it's my pleasure and warm welcome to you
Thank you
once
so
again.
much.
So tell me about your motivation to start WeEducate Foundation.
Mm, that's a very good question. I was on the board and I was with the Home of Hope and actually started the program called English Empowerment Program.
Okay.
And it came about because, Home of Hope has, as you know, as a charity and they deal with a lot of schools and orphanages and things.
Mm-hmm.
And everywhere we saw the need for English
Mm.
education because unfortunately in
Mm.
India, the no offense, but the rural schools suffer from lack of good teachers.
Yes.
And
yes.
especially for underprivileged children, the teachers they don't get the good quality teachers.
Absolutely.
And kids need to learn English if they want to get ahead in life. They want to get jobs. They want to study further. So it came about as a need from there.
Okay.
And so I started the program. It was called the English Empowerment Program when I was with Home of Hope.
Mm-hmm.
But then about 7 years ago, I branched out on my own and I started WeEducate Foundation
Okay.
because the charter got pretty big
Mm.
and branched out into working with girls that have been rescued from sex trafficking. So I started this program in shelter homes as well as in the rural schools in places like Delhi and Bangalore, especially children that were, the fathers had committed farmer suicide, all part of that whole farmer suicide movement.
Okay.
So these children are from the neighboring Adivasi tribes. And so they're part of this day school, the day scholar program, and of course they needed English. That's what actually motivated me to continue with this passion that I've always had to teach children English.
Yeah, and especially you being here and far removed from the environment these kids have, and it's people who have lived in India. We have seen that it's not easy for these kids or even the families like migrant workers or people working in low paid jobs and stuff, and especially rural areas.
Exactly.
It is difficult, and talking about good education, many times they don't have a school also close in their neighborhood.
And the sad part is if they even have a school, because the government does provide schools, but then the teachers don't come.
Absolutely.
There's a very high level of absenteeism.
Yeah.
So it was really unfortunate. And on that note, I was actually teaching over here also in the US in Mountain View.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of migrant children coming from Mexico, from Venezuela, from all of Southern America.
Yeah.
And so it was the same problem. So I was also teaching, and part of a program called Just Read, Just Math.
Okay. Yeah.
So we started with, we were teaching also with those kids.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a universal need, really.
Yeah, I guess you are a mentor at heart. You want to be a mentor.
It's my passion.
That's why you're doing what you're doing, Madhvi. Yeah. So tell me about that's how you started. But what is your long-term vision or the vision for your organization, WeEducate?
Oh, that's a good question. Thank you. Of course, the long-term vision is to expand this program and reach as many children as we possibly can. More and more shelter homes are coming online, and the plan is that I work with this organization that does all the rescues.
Yeah.
But then once the children have been rescued and they're in the shelter home, that's where I come in and my program comes in. And then we go in and start teaching them language, English language skills. We're going to expand to also teach them maths and science, also on a digital platform.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the grand plan. But we're also going to be expanding into like 14 countries.
Oh.
Because trafficking is huge.
Rampant.
It's a problem everywhere.
Very true, very true.
So my vision and my goal, and I hope we're able to make this happen. We just want to expand and get to as many children as possible. And hopefully with the grace of God and with kind donors and volunteers, hopefully we'll be able to make this happen.
Very true, and all the best to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're talking about trafficking. I was reading some statistics on it, and it said that South Asia and Pacific have more victims than any other region in the world today.
Yes.
Some reports estimate 62% of those affected by modern day slavery live in these regions alone. So that's a lot, and I think COVID-19 increased this issue of bonded labor and traffickers.
Certainly did.
Yeah,
it certainly did. We've had some really horror stories of girls that were sold by their mothers because they had 3 other children to feed at home.
Yeah.
And so they couldn't, and COVID had shut down
everything.
Girls as young as 7 and 8 years old were being brought and sold to the brothels. It's a very, very dark side of humanity, and it's a dark side, but unfortunately this is what happens when you live in poverty.
Very true, very true. And thank you for all you're doing through your foundation. And you talked a little bit about being at an app-based learning tool. So what methods do you apply when you're teaching kids from such background or areas, and is it individualized? A little bit about the method.
It's interesting. This kind of program has evolved over the years, and now what we've got is actually if I may say so myself, it's actually a very unique program, and nobody else does this. And the reason I say that is we use an app, an English learning app. And it's pretty well known as worldwide. But what happens with this app is it's self-paced, self-learning. The children learn digital literacy skills. They log on to the computer. They talk to the computer and read, and the computer talks back to them, correcting them as they go along. And kids love computers. They just love it. So they're really enjoying this. But that's not the only component. We also have teacher-led sessions, because you can't take the teacher away. I mean, no matter how much digital literacy we can provide, how much ever the apps are, however good the apps are, you need the human interface.
Absolutely.
So we have teachers. Our teams are in India, but I also have a team of teachers here in the US. And God bless them. They're wonderful, wonderful, compassionate teachers, and they're so dedicated. Because we are a volunteer-based organization here in the US, so we don't really pay our teachers, but we've got some marvelous, dedicated volunteer teachers. The other component is we also teach kids English through drama, because drama. I mean, kids love to act out.
Wonderful.
Kids love to learn lines, and in all this acting and play acting and doing this. They learn English and they love it, and it's non-stressful environment. You don't have somebody standing there with a book reading from it and talking to them, which unfortunately is in India. It's still the mode of instruction. It's still the traditional way of reading and imparting. And then we have also we show them videos and clips and games. We play games with them so that they can learn, and it's all based around learning,
so that's wonderful.
In our shelter homes, in fact, we have sessions with the shelter home girls where they actually play games with us. They learn to get over this fear and trauma that they have gone through, and it builds the confidence in them, and then they start to actually open up to learn.
Yeah, so it's also to do with their mental health, you know. Yeah,
Yes.
it's not just education. They are human beings you're dealing with who've gone through so much of trauma.
Trauma,
So,
yes.
yeah, I can only imagine, you know, even the best of kids here are so distracted and they can't even, you know, they feel so much of pressure. These kids, you know, to find one hope and, you know, a little bit of motivation to study is a huge, huge thing, I have to say. And I think, you know, these laptops that you provide them and is like a, you know, a tool of escapism for them. You know, it's the whole world and that they get to see, and the exposure that you're giving them. And I love the concept of theater that you talked about, because we've heard so much about while growing up, Nukkar Natak.
Yes,
Nukkar Natak was like, you know, moral based stories,
Yes.
and they would you know, go to from one street, गली से गली जाते थे और वो करते थे. So I think that's a wonderful way of going about it. So you know, you've been operational for 7 years.
7 years for WeEducate Foundation.
Yes. So what has been the impact so far? What do you think? How have you impacted?
Yes, the impact has been phenomenal.
Okay.
I mean, if I may, you know, say so myself.
Absolutely.
But, we're seeing like, so, you know, when we do the pre-test to figure out what the level is of the children and where they're at, because a lot of them they've been trafficked from villages, you know, so they haven't had formal instruction. And a lot of the kids that were also, you know, coming from the trauma suicide thing, we have to see where they're at, and then we start them. We're seeing as much as a 90% improvement in the space of 2 years.
Wow.
2 years.
Amazing.
These children are speaking fluent sentences. They're actually having a conversation with us. The biggest thing that we have seen is the confidence that they get.
Yes.
When they first come to us, they're very shy. They will not even look up at us. They will not lift their eyes.
I can understand.
They can barely say A, B, C, D. So we start at that level with them. And then with the personal coaching, the teachers, and all these components, in the space of 2 years, we're seeing 90%. And when I say 90%, of course, those are also test scores, but we're also seeing how they communicate and how they're able to actually speak in full sentences and talk. It's actually pretty amazing to see that result. A funny story, one of our kids in the Delhi school, you know, I mean, these kids, they have parents, but they come from the slums. So they have very, very, you know, a poor background. But one of the girls, it was really cute when I spoke to her some time ago. She actually was imitating our American accent.
Oh, how cute.
She was learning that from the app. And it was so sweet because, you know, she was actually speaking with that accent. It just cracked us up because it's like, oh my God, you're imitating us. But the confidence, the fluency that they acquire. Now, sometimes we have an issue, if I may, you know, with the schools and all, the kids stay with us long enough that we can really, you know, make a difference. But sometimes with the shelter homes, the kids get repatriated to their homes. You know, if they haven't been sold into the you know, trade, sometimes they've been duped. Sometimes they've been, you know, led astray by these guys that go and pretend to be, you know, their boyfriends, etc. Or they pretend that they're going to give them jobs. So in such cases, if the parents want them back, the government allows us to repatriate. So we don't have them for too long. But even though we have them for like a couple of months, we're able to make a significant impact. The kids are able to read. Yes, and they're able to say basic sentences, enough for them to be able to get by, you know, in life.
Very true, lovely. And, you know, when I'm listening to you, I'm sure, you know, you must be facing a lot of challenges doing this kind of a work. And so do you tie up with grassroots government agencies or anything to aid you? Because, you know, you cannot do this work just by being
by ourselves, right?
So anything that you'd like to talk about, you know, your partners there, or you know, or the associations that you are you know, dealing with?
So, you know, it's an interesting answer to that one, and it's you know, it's an interesting question too. Not a straightforward answer.
Yeah.
Because we're partnered with some wonderful schools and organizations that, you know, where we go in and we teach the children. And of course, this organization that rescues the girls, then we have to partner with the government shelter homes.
Too, yeah.
We have to. I mean, that's the law in India. So we partner with the government shelter homes, and we, you know, that's how we teach the girls and we train them. We've had challenges with partnering with local NGOs.
Okay.
You know, it's I hate to say this, but unfortunately, what happens is there's a lot of competition. And unfortunately, even though everybody is in the NGO world, and even though people are in there for the good of the children, there's always egos. There's always, oh, I'm better than you. Oh, and if they see you succeed, then it goes the other way, because then they kind of try to sabotage you, or they kind of, you know, it's.
Oh, that's sad. That's sad, but I know I can.
You know how it is.
And you know, you are going against an industry which is huge and powerful. They have, you know, the power and the resources to, you know. So
huge.
So I can imagine, you know, how people are doing what they're doing.
Unfortunately, we do run into those challenges. So when we have a partnership, it's more with the organization or the school or the orphanage directly, or our organization where we're actually rescuing the girls. And we always have challenges here because, like I said, we're a volunteer-based organization. So for me to always get volunteer teachers, which I need in the US, because, you know, we also have the US component.
Right.
We don't only have teachers in India, but we also have teachers in the US, and we teach the kids over Zoom.
Right.
And they love it. But we also need a big staff of teachers. You know, I'm always looking. Looking.
I know. But one question that was coming to my mind is, why are you stressing more on English only as far as educating rural children, even though it's always good to learn another language? And so why English only?
English is the backbone of any kind of advancement, right? In society.
Absolutely.
The children want to study, they want to get higher education, they want to go out and get jobs.
Yes.
A lot of the girls have decided that the ones we rescued have decided that they want to become police officers because they don't want anybody else to suffer the way they have suffered. So, and the kids that want to study further, some want to be computer graphics engineers, some want to be software engineers, some want to, a lot of the kids actually want to join the army also, army and air force, because they want to serve their country. And you know what, no matter what we say that yes, you know, they're in India and they can get by with Hindi or with the local language. Not true. You know, when you want to advance in your career, you know, when you want to get ahead in life, you have to know English.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times our children are very smart. They are very bright, but they lose out on jobs and all because they don't speak English.
Communication is important.
Very.
And I think even just being in India, even if they don't get exposed to international, you know, people, even in India, not the dialects are different.
Correct.
You know, we people from the north don't understand a lot of from the south. So English is something that, you know, that connects us, and it's very important. And obviously, it's important for intercultural, you know, growth. If you have to succeed, so I think that's a great tool that you are providing them.
And if I may add, we are actually expanding to teaching math online also math and science. I have another application which teaches math only through pictures. It's a phenomenal concept, you know, where the children don't even need to know English or know Hindi or any language. It's this little penguin that goes across the screen. You know, it's all animated. We're teaching math with that.
ये हमारे time में क्यों नहीं था?
No, such way.
Would have made it easier.
Such way. When I was looking at the program, I was learning. I'm like, you really see how much fun.
I know that is true, but and especially you know, with the world becoming smaller because of internet. obviously they need to learn
Yes.
how to use digital apps
Exactly.
and all. So
Exactly.
wonderful work, and
Thank you.
in the end, you are empowering so many children. So how is this work empowering you, Madhvi?
You know, all I can say is it just empowers my soul,
Okay.
really.
Mm.
And when you see a child learn and you
Mm.
see a child succeed and you see that light in their eyes when they finally get it,
Yeah.
and that aha moment,
That is-
in their eyes,
Mm.
that's the biggest reward.
Yeah.
And that's what keeps us going, really,
Very
to just
true.
see these children.
Mm.
And some of our kids now, these girls that are now 17, 18,
Mm.
they're in the 10th standard, and they're going to be now going for higher education, and they're going to be working in offices.
Mhm.
When we're teaching them and we see them get it and the happiness on their faces,
Mm.
that's it. We know that, my thing is, if I can change even one life,
Yeah.
one life,
Mm.
if we can give these children tools to become successful in life and not go back into the trade, or
Yeah.
not get sucked back into poverty,
Yeah.
then that, at least we've done
That's-
something.
Yeah,
something.
absolutely. And you did in your bio, you said you have a psychology background.
Yes.
So
Yes.
what did you learn about human psychology while doing this work?
There's the good side and then the bad side,
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
The good side is a human beings, children inherently are very good,
Yes.
pure little souls,
Yeah.
pure souls.
Mm.
They have no malice in them. They have nothing. It's the circumstances that they've been put into, the things that happen to them that makes them very cynical and very violent at times, and very agitated. They've gone through trauma. But inherently, it doesn't take them long to come out of it, because inherently they're very good people. Also, there are a whole lot of good people in this world that actually want to help the children. Not everybody is out there being buried in corporate greed.
Absolutely.
Everybody is not like that. There's that good side. Humans want to help other human beings, and people are very kind and gentle at heart. Very, very kind. And I've been blessed to meet a lot of those people. Very blessed.
Yeah.
There is the bad side, where there are people that couldn't be bothered. The ones that actually indulge in all this trafficking. That's the worst.
know.
That's the worst part of
So
society.
lost souls, I'll say, they don't know what they're
They
doing.
don't know what they're
Yeah.
doing, and
So true.
that's the bad part of society. The part we don't like.
Yeah.
But
See, also, Madhvi, you attract the energy you give out. So if you're giving something positive out, I'm sure you're attracting similar
yes, I am.
people.
You're
you know?
absolutely
Yeah,
right,
that's-
Namrita. That's so well said.
That's
It's
important.
very well said, because absolutely we get the best of the best.
Absolutely.
To come with
And
us.
in the end, how can people help here and join WeEducate? Everything
Yes.
about it. Where can they go find you on social media?
That's good. I am on. I do have a website, and it's called WeEducateFoundation.org. The details are in there, and I would actually love for people to connect with me. And I'm always looking for help. I don't have a very strong Instagram account or Facebook presence.
Yeah.
I have some amount, but I need help with that. So we are so focused right now on educating the children that we kind of fall behind at times on social media, but that's we need that.
Yeah.
So if there are volunteers out there who would like to get just a few hours a week, it's not very intense, but
Especially youth, I'll say. And
Yes.
summer holidays are coming. Good time to get your volunteer hours done. But you need to be into it. Don't
Yes.
just do it for the sake of doing it. You have to have that thing coming from within, that yes, you align with this organization and you would like to help. So but there will be opportunities, I'm sure.
Yes.
So do
Yes.
go to WeEducateFoundation.org.
Yes.
And you can donate. There's a donate button there, and also volunteer or just get in touch with Madhvi and know more about the work she's doing through this organization.
And we also need teachers. So we
Teachers
want-
are important. Yes.
Teachers are important. We want kids who want to, dabble with the social media aspect of it. There's lots of opportunities, and it's not very. I have to add that it's not very labor intensive. It's not
Okay.
very time consuming. You know, it's easily done.
Wonderful, wonderful. So all I'll say in the end is education breeds confidence, confidence breeds hope, and hope breeds peace.
Yes.
You know, it's a quote I read. And thank you, Madhvi,
Thank you
for
so much.
coming on Off the Cuff. It was a pleasure talking to you about the work you're doing, and wishing you the very best.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity, Namrita. I really appreciate you giving me this platform to get the
Anytime.
word out to people. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, you guys. Take care. Be well. Bye for now.
Shosha is a creative Indian restaurant located in the heart of Silicon Valley. Shosha is a woman-owned business that serves traditional Indian flavors assimilated with molecular gastronomy techniques. The best Indian bar with happy hours in the Bay Area serves handcrafted drinks inspired by flavors from India with modern craft cocktails that are presented in unique ways. Shosha is a modern take on traditional Indian cuisine. We specialize in corporate luncheon, anniversary celebrations, birthday parties, and catering. Do check us out for a memorable modern Indian dining experience. Shosha is located at 141 South Murphy Avenue in Sunnyvale, California.